welcome back to the Great Plains Product Maintenance video series. I'm here with one of the Mintill drills, and in this video we're going to go through some of the components that make up our feeder cup housing, as well as how to do a calibration to make sure you're putting down the same rate all the way across the drill. The first thing we're going to do to set all the cups the same is to go to our slide handle, and we're going to adjust the slide handle so that our sprocket in the feed cup is right in the middle. You'll see in the middle of the feed cup housing there's a little bit of a seam, and we can use that to set it at 50%. Now we also make a special tool that can be used on both the 1 3/4 cup or an 1 1/4 cup, and it's just going to sit right down in the middle, and we'll use that slide handle to adjust the sprocket up against that to wedge it between the sprocket and the housing. At that point we know that this feed cup is right at 50%. So once the feed cup is at 50%, we'll come back to our slide housing and make sure that our brass measurement reading is actually at 50%. Now if it's a little bit over or under, we have an adjustment, and all we have to do are loosen these brass screws and move the plate from left to right to recenter the 50 mark back where our slide handle is. At that point, all of the cups should be the same. Now if you find that you have 1 or 2 cups that are off from the rest and everything else looks okay, we can also loosen those up individually and move those left to right on the shaft. There's only a little bit of adjustment there, so most of our adjustment should be able to be done right through the slide handle and the brass plate. So now we have the block here, and we'll go over a little bit about how it's used. This same block is used on the 1 3/4 cup or an 1 1/4 cup, and it allows us to calibrate this cup at 50 or 75 or 25% open or closed. When we turn it to the side, you'll see that there's a few different measurements here. We've got a width measurement when we turn it from left to right, and if we turn it again, we've got a few more cutaway faces all at different widths. What that allows us to do is on the 1 3/4 cup, set it on the 7/8 width mark. That's going to set this cup at 50%. Now if we wanted to calibrate this at 75% or 25%, we can turn it on its side to 7/16, which is 1/4 of the way open or 1/4 of the way closed. And we can adjust the cup again to wedge that up against the wall of the housing and the sprocket. So that was an 1 3/4 cup. We can do the same thing with an 1 1/4 cup. We've got a 5/8 measurement, which sits down in there and holds it up against the housing. And then we also have a 5/16 measurement, which, just like the other one, would set it at either 1/4 open or 1/4 closed, which would be your 25% or 75% open or closed, based off of where you put the measurement tool. Now that tool does have a Great Plains part number, so it can be ordered, and it's not a bad idea to keep one on hand just to make it a little bit easier when you go through your drill every year to make sure all these cups are the same. We also want to stress the importance of using original OEM Great Plains Fresh Start parts to make sure that the original part quality and integrity that first went into the drill goes back into the drill after you do your rebuild.